Hello, everyone, and welcome to a video episode of Panther Pourri Express. I'm your host, Jacob Langsam.
I'm Alex Lopez.
And I'm here too. Guys, the Panthers are 1-0. 1-0.
The Panthers are undefeated. Tampa is winless. 8th. Vassy Wash. Tampa bad. The Panthers have defeated the New York Islanders by a score of 3-1, 2-1 plus an empty net.
They count today because Matthew Tkachuk had the empty net.
They count today because it was Matthew Tkachuk, so it was 3-1. Matthew Tkachuk very deserving of a goal in this game.
16 shot attempts.
Yeah, what was his IXG? We'll figure
it was
out.
like 1.2.
Yeah, so Matthew Tkachuk very deserving of a goal. Glad he finally cashed in, although it was on the empty net. But a goal is a goal when you're counting the stats.
They don't ask how, just how many.
That's right.
Sergei Bobrovsky was huge tonight. 31 saves on 32 shots.
I thought it was 29 saves on 30 shots. Either way, great showing from Bob.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Sorokin was very good tonight too. So Bob had to really be on his game. The Islanders are a very different opponent than a lot of the teams that Panthers are going to play this year. It's an old school team where there's going to be a lot more run and gun this year, especially since the Avalanche just won the Cup. Panthers just won the President's Trophy playing that run and gun style that they played all of last year. So we're going to have to see how Paul Maurice's new system works against like the vast majority of teams in the NHL that are going to play a different system. But I mean, the Islanders are a tough nut to crack. They have been for a long time. And I mean, they did a solid job of remaining patient, not giving up too much on the other end. And they broke through and they deserved to win the game. And they did win the game.
Yeah, it was a pretty consistent performance throughout. I mean, the first period of Panthers did start a bit slow.
Yeah.
But, I mean, basically the second period on, the Panthers were by far the better team on the ice.
Oh, yeah.
They dominated the scoring chances. I mean, even in the first period, I think the XG was relatively close considering.
No, the Islanders had a big lead.
Okay, never mind. It felt like, honestly to me, it felt like the Panthers had the more dangerous chances, especially Tkachuk on the power play.
Oh, yeah.
He should have scored on that first between the legs move, and it just trickled wide. But yeah, I think I know we already talked about the early returns of Matthew Tkachuk. He's really good.
Oh, yes.
What about early returns on Josh Mahura?
I mean,
he was fine.
I liked Mahara.
Yeah.
I thought he was good today. And as far as returns, I mean, you didn't give up anything to get him.
Right.
So I guess the ROI is pretty high because he had one good game and at zero cost, effectively. So
Look, he was better than Mark Stahl was tonight. And I mean, we got to point it out.
Which should surprise nobody.
And I'm trying hard not to just confirm my thought that Mark Stahl was going to be ineffective, but that turnover for the penalty that caused the tying goal for the Islanders was just brutal. It was awful. And overall, I just didn't think he looked like he was playing with urgency. It seemed like even when he had time and space, he would get closed down pretty quickly. And I just don't know if that's a situation I'm comfortable with for 82 games. But maybe he'll get better. We'll see.
Yeah, Mark. Ever since he was signed, Mark Stahl was just going to be like, oh boy. And I mean, I guess that's kind of the benefit of taking a shot on someone like Josh Mahura. Yeah. I mean, I think all three of us are Lucas Carlson stands. We'd rather see him in the lineup over Mark Stahl.
Yeah.
But
#free Carlson.
But like with Kierstead, even though he's a friend of the show, like he's a solid player, but like you kind of know what you're getting from Matt Kierstead. It's a number 6, number 7 type defenseman. At least with Josh Mahura, like it's
upside.
Yeah, well, it's not upside; it's unknown.
Yeah,
I know I use this analogy all the time in the opposite way, but it's like, it's the old Family Guy analogy where it's like you can have the boat or you could have the mystery box.
Yeah,
but instead of a boat, this time it's a pretty reliable dinghy.
Yeah,
or a mystery box.
You can have like a 2015 Honda Civic. Or the mystery box.
Yeah, and
it's not the flashiest car, but it's reliable.
But in this case, like, you take the mystery box. You have an opportunity to swing, and it's like, maybe you get tickets to see a comedy show, or maybe you get a boat.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the Panthers' options on defense weren't really going to be that sexy.
Yeah.
So
they have to take the mystery box. They had no choice.
Yeah. Let's talk about the power play for a bit. 0 for 5 in the first game of the season, and that was a reason that it was cited that the Panthers moved on from Andrew Burnett to Paul Maurice. But overall, I didn't think it played that badly. It was Sorokin playing well, untimely shots that missed the net, and other bad luck, I guess.
Yeah.
In the preseason, not that we put too much stock in preseason.
Unless it helps prove our points.
Yeah, but the power play was just bad. Like, they could not gain the zone. They couldn't generate chance. It looked like the playoffs power play, just completely inept and limp.
Yeah.
Tonight, they generated chances. I mean, I would guess their XG on the power play was pretty decent.
It was definitely above 1.
Yeah. So, it's 0 for 5. Like, the naysayers out there, the people who are just going to look for something negative to take out of the night, they're going to point to the power play. But
I don't know. I'm sure we'll get a sect of people who are like, well, the Stars didn't show up.
Yeah.
Barkov didn't.
Well, the Stars did show up. Mason Marsh with 2 goals tonight.
Well played, TJ. Well played.
I want to end on Rudolph Balcers, and I know that it's going to look like confirmation bias, but I really like the way that he played tonight. There were a couple of times that he made some mistakes, but overall, that line was the Panthers' best line tonight, for sure. They were all over the place. They were buzzing, and I love that Balcers, whenever the puck was in the offensive zone, he seemed to be 3 feet away from it at all times.
Balcer, easily of the 3 lottery ticket guys who were brought in, Balcers by far was the best one tonight. Nick Cousins was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Colin White was
fine. I mean, I would say better than fine. They were pretty.
They were
solid.
both pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah, Cousins drew.
Yeah, the Hornquist goal doesn't happen without Nick Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins drew a power play. Colin White did his job.
He got an assist.
But yeah, I definitely think Rudolph Balcers was the best one of it.
Which is what we also expected going into the season.
Yeah.
We kind of knew that Balcers was going to be the guy most likely to be a difference maker.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call him a difference maker tonight, but he was
Most
good.
likely to be a difference maker.
I hear you. Any negatives other than Mark Stahl, since we've already touched on it?
No, not really. I mean, the third line...
82-0, Panthers are winning the cup.
Third line could have been better.
If any line, I think I would have liked to see more from is the Barkov line.
Yeah.
It flashed a little bit, but
you also always want to see a little bit more from the Barkov line.
Yeah.
It's hard not to expect a lot out of your top line.
But that's my point. You have one of the top 10 players in the NHL, a guy that fits in perfectly in Verhaeghe, and then Sam Reinhart, who was an 82-point player. Like, you overloaded that top line. Like, you want to see more out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they won their matchup tonight, but when you have those 3 guys on the ice, regardless of who your opponent's playing, you probably have at least two of the best 2 players on the ice are Reinhart and Barkov. You expect when those are the 2 best players on the ice, them to dominate, and they didn't. Minor.
And Barkov spent a lot of time going up against Brock Nelson.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I expect dominance. I expect heavy pressure. It doesn't even have to be a goal, but I just expected more out of that line tonight. But, again, we're nitpicking. It's a 3-1 win. I mean, it wasn't a comfortable win because it was close the whole way, and, we needed an empty netter to make it 3-1. But it's a 3-1 win. And because we're nerds, here's Magic Card.
All right, that'll do it for Panther